5.05 Old Civilizations. This is the flip video lesson that goes along with your Human Odyssey reading pages 222 to 237 and student guide pages 144 to 146. Lesson Introduction: Old Civilizations. People lived on the Yucatan Peninsula and in the Andes Mountains for thousands of years before they met explorers from Europe. Diverse groups developed unique cultures. Civilizations evolved and thrived for hundreds of years. The Maya invented the mathematical concept of zero. The Aztecs built cities larger than any in Europe. The Inca government built roads over deep gorges and raging rivers. What European explorers called the New World was filled with ancient temples, century-old governments, and vine-covered ruins of long-ago peoples. This flip video goes along with your reading pages 222 to 237. You'll find many of these objectives covered on those pages. Recognize the term New World reflected only the European view of the continents they learned about in the 15th and 16th centuries. Define civilization. Describe the origins of Mexico's name and flag. Identify Hiram Bingham as the modern discoverer of the lost city of Machu Picchu. Identify the Olmecs as possibly the earliest civilization in the Americas. Locate the Olmec, Maya, Aztec, and Inca empires on a map. Summarize the major achievements and characteristics of the Aztec, Inca, and Mayan civilizations. This starts with question number 1. In the early 16th century, to whom were the American continents a new world, and who might have taken offense at that term? The New World was new to Europeans in the early 16th century. The indigenous peoples of North and South America might have taken offense at that term, considering they had been living on the two continents for thousands of years when the Europeans discovered them. Civilization defined. Civilization, from the Latin civitas, which means city. It refers to a people who have learned to farm, grow a surplus of food, divide their labor, and have begun to build cities. The earliest civilization. The Olmec established what many archaeologists believe to be the earliest civilization in the Americas. The civilization thrived between 1200 and 400 BC on Mexico's Gulf Coast. And this map, or this chart I should say, is found on pages 144 to 145 in your student guide. It details the certain information between the Mayan, the Aztec, and the Inca civilizations. So the Maya civilization is approximately 250 AD to 900. It was ruled by kings, and Tikal was one of the biggest and most important cities. The Mayans worshiped many gods. They were polytheistic, which means they worshiped many gods and goddesses. The priests performed rituals to keep the gods happy. They celebrated religious festivals. Temples were located on stone pyramids, and they believed in an afterlife. There were really no known conflicts. The achievements and the accomplishments: they had cities with populations in the thousands, cultivated beans, squash, and corns, built terraces to grow crops on hillsides. They drained swamps for farmland, built large stone pyramids, wrote in hieroglyphics, carved stone monuments called stelae, processed advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics, predicted eclipses, and developed a 365-day calendar. They understood the idea of zero as a number, and they used place value. The Aztecs settled in the Valley of Mexico around the year 1250. Within a few centuries, they had built a mighty empire, and they were ruled by emperors. Their capital was Tenochtitlan, which by the 1500s, it had a population of perhaps 150,000. They were also polytheistic, which means they believed in many gods. Their war god was an important deity, and the Aztecs practiced human sacrifice to keep Huitzilopochtli strong. I always want to say that. It's Huitzilopochtli strong. That's a hard one to say. Say it 10 times fast. The conflicts early on, they had conflicts with various cities as they traveled south looking for a home. Their conflicts were with people that they conquered. Their achievements and accomplishments: they had transformed a deserted island into a large city with causeways and a population larger than any European city at that time. They built stone monuments and temples. Skilled metal workers created fine jewelry. Craftsmen created dazzling headdresses, cloaks, and ornaments. Scribes painted books and kept records of taxes, and territories were conquered. And then they created a very large empire. And then we come to the Incas. They came to power around 1200 and reached the height of their power around 1500, and these are both AD. They were ruled by emperors. Their capital was Cusco, which is Machu Picchu, a city in the Andes, possibly a summer vacation spot for Inca nobility and a religious center. And nobility are kings and queens. Our book doesn't say, but their religion, the Incas were polytheistic, again, believed in many gods. They believed in the afterlife, and they mummified their dead. The conflicts, there were none specifically mentioned in our book. And then achievements and accomplishments. They built impressive structures out of stone, fitting giant stones closely together without the use of mortar. They built a vast system of roads that linked the empire. They used runners and a relay system to speed the spread of news and information. They created a system of recording numbers with knotted strings called quipu. The artisans crafted fine jewelry. They built Machu Picchu, and they established granaries to store grain to use during years of poor harvests. And then you can write in the bottom of that chart what you found most interesting about each civilization. If you need more time to fill in this chart, you can always pause the recording. The significance of the eagle, cactus, and snake on Mexico's national flag. Aztec legend says that their war god sent them south and told them they would find a new home in a place where an eagle spread its wings as it tore apart a serpent. When the Aztec reached a remote island in the middle of a lake, they saw an eagle land atop a cactus, holding a snake in its beak. Why did the conquering Spaniards name their colony Mexico? The Spaniards called their new colony Mexico after its native inhabitants, the Mexica. The ruling class of the Aztec Empire referred to themselves as Mexica. And then this is the focus on geography. It's an optional lesson, although it will help to bring together your understanding of this lesson. You can go to page 146. You can look at the questions, and if you need some help, the answers are all listed here. And we've come to the end of our flip video lesson. Thank you so much for joining me today.